Alrighty then. Hello everybody. I'm gonna get started because this is not an ordinary video that I haven't done. This is something new that I'm gonna give it a try, where I've seen videos do this where people do time lapse of them building stuff, or doing Legos, and then they just show a time lapse of them building it, and etc, and then they do like a voiceover. I've seen them doing TikTok here and there and Instagram. So I thought of doing my own twist to it, where I am going to do a time lapse of me building a Nanoblock Lugia figure that I'm guessing is like a knockoff of Legos, but the blocks are very tiny because I've opened this, and based on each Lego or block, it's very small, so it makes sense for calling it a Nanoblock. And so I'm going to be building this, but not only just doing a time lapse of me building it, but also me talking about SoulSilver, Silver, kind of fun facts, interesting things that you didn't know about the game, my thoughts on the game, and why it's kind of my favorite Pokemon game. And then also kind of give my quick review on this and see if this is actually worth getting. But so far, I've already built this, so this is kind of a future me already doing this. So my quick review on this is it worth getting? Yes. Is it fun to do? Yes. Is it interesting? Sure, why not? Was it hard to build? Hell yes, because they were small and I was having mini anxiety attacks building this stuff, and my girlfriend was with me watching me and noticing that I had to build, break it apart, build it again, break it apart. So, yeah. But besides that, it's still fun to do. And the thing I like about this set is it gives you a level of how hard it is from 5 blocks. So it's a level 3 block. So I'm guessing that means it's intermediate. It's a normal build compared to it's easy or hard and stuff like that. I guess the best way to put it. I'm an idiot at explaining stuff. But yes, I'm going to be building this. I'm going to stop talking. And the only time you're going to hear me talk is me talk about Pokemon SoulSilver or Silver or both. So, yeah. Alrighty then. Pokemon Silver and Gold is the second set of titles in the Pokemon series and is the second generation for Pokemon. It came out in Japan on November 21st, 1999. Ironically and surprisingly, it came out the same year and month as my birthday. And wish it came out the same day as my birthday. But as I've learned, we don't always get what we want. So, yeah. While the American version came out later on, it came out around October 15, 2000. Unlike the remake, HeartGold and SoulSilver, that game came out on Japan on September 12, 2009. But in America, it was released on March 14, 2010. When it came out to the main location and area of the game, these both games take place in the Johto region, which is set on my favorite regions of all Pokemon games. The first game makes its appearance in the original Game Boy, while the remake made its appearance for the DS and DS Lite. And yes, for those who forgot, there are 2 versions of the DS. Just like Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Silver and Gold had 3 games connecting to it, but had some changes to it. And this version was known as Pokemon Crystal. For that game, it came out in Japan on December 14, 2000. And for the American version, it was released on July 29, 2001. For those who didn't know about this fact, the original name for the game was Pocket Monsters 2 Silver and Gold, or Pokemon 2 Silver and Gold. One ironic thing about the game was this game was supposed to be the last Pokemon game until, ironically, the series got popular and motivated the company to make more. One interesting thing about this game and region is supposedly Johto is a much more older region than Kanto in the whole lore of Pokemon. And please correct me if I'm wrong. One interesting fact I didn't know is that the events of Pokemon Yellow is considered canon to Pokemon Silver and Gold, And there are some events, if I'm not correct, that show this evidence. One feature I bet a lot of Pokemon fans now and wish they added to all the Pokemon games is the concept of having your Pokemon follow you, which is introduced in Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. Unless another game created that concept that I did or don't know of, which I think now the newer Pokemons are starting to do that. When it comes to the starters for this game, they were a lot different than what we got for Totodile, Cyndaquil, and Chikorita. The original names for them were Happa, the grass type, Kurosuru, the water type, and Honoguma, the fire type. Hope I said them right. Please let me know if the pronunciation was off. One sad thing never added to Gold and Silver was the Safari Zone. The concept for this game, or the section, was planned but never added to the final product. The only way to see it is using via a glitch or a cheating device. Ironically, one fact that I can say is true is that HeartGold and SoulSilver is one of the top hardest games to get and shown to be worth a lot. Fun fact about me, it took me almost 12 years to find a copy of this game and costed me almost $200, which I was basically lucky to find it at a convention called Holiday Matsuri, which is my first ever convention ever gone. It's an anime convention, which I highly suggest you go. For those who are wondering where Johto is inspired from in the real world, it's based on the Japanese region of Kansai. This main focus and inspiration for the region was trying to focus on a place in Japan that had an old feeling to it. At the time of release, Gold and Silver held the rare achievement of being the fastest selling game at that time. If wondering what changes were made for the remake, some examples are gym redesigns, berry trees, or the introduction of berry trees, routes 47, 48 were added, Sinjo ruins, and more. One thing I never got to experience but found interesting for the game of HeartGold and SoulSilver, where they introduced a device called the Pokewalker. The Pokewalker was a pedometer device where you could upload a Pokemon in the device and help it slowly raise its level and make your Pokemon happy. Here's a little interesting fact that I found online. One fan set the record and maxed out the Pokewalker with nearly 10 million steps. And if you don't believe me, you can search it out. If you're wondering how many Pokemon Pokedex for both games, there are 251 in Silver and Gold, and HeartGold and SoulSilver has 256 Pokemon. If you've never played Pokemon Gold and Silver and wondered which Pokemon legendaries and mythicals make their appearance or even catch, they are Lugia, Ho-Oh, Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. While the remake you can find Lugia, Ho-Oh, Entei, Raikou, Suicune, there are other legendaries and mythicals that make their appearance, such as the three legendary birds Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, while you can also find Mewtwo, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, and finally Latios and Latias. Wow, that was a lot more than I can remember. There were a few more mythicals and legendaries that you were able to get, but they were done in events and special occasions. And I will mention them because I know somebody's in the comments saying, oh, why I didn't say it? Well, here they are. Celebi, Mew, Manaphy, and Jirachi. When it comes to the main character, both games use the same character called Gold or Ethan. He is shown in all games except Crystal, which in that version of the game is called Lyra. When it comes to your rival, is shown to be the opposite of Ethan. His name is Silver. You meet Silver in New Bark Town, and you first see him staring into the professor's lab at the starter Pokemon. If you're wondering which professor you meet and interact with in the rest of the game, that would be Professor Elm. You also meet Professor Oak in the game later on, who does an evaluation on your Pokedex. For the villain, in both games, they focus on Team Rocket and their leader, Giovanni. If I'm not correct, HeartGold and SoulSilver focus on Giovanni more than the original, if I'm not correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. One of my favorite characters that makes their appearance in Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver is the infamous trainer Red. You meet him later on once you complete all badges from the Kanto and Johto region and with Professor Oak. Once you do that, he will give you an HM08, which is Rock Climb. That's when you head to Silver or Mount Silver and use Rock Climb. Once you reach to the top of the mountain, you will meet him and battle Red. The end. Or is it? If you want to know more, I can do a full video of Pokemon Silver and Gold and HeartGold and SoulSilver. I can even do a quick review of it and why it's considered my favorite game and one of the top best games ever in my opinion. Thank you.
We have to stopwatch, baby.
Basically 56. No, 57. That's correct because I added a couple more.
Yeah.
So it took me an hour to build this.
Hey, yo, that's cool.
And I got extra pieces.
Yep. That's really cool.
Alrighty then, as you can see, that was basically the time-lapse of me building that Lugia knockoff Lego figure, which the actual brand is called Nanoblocks, which I got it in a store called Unigo in Disney Springs. But I've noticed that you can also buy their much more figures in Amazon and in eBay, and then I think their own website and stuff like that. I've even bought Nanoblocks for my best friend of like a Japanese kind of temple, which it was cool to do, or to give to her. But it was cool to actually see a figure block of Lugia, and yeah. So this is just part one of the video. Part two, if you guys are interested, and if you stay tuned, later on, I am going to build an actual like a display where I have the water, the background, like a background of the intro of SoulSilver, you know, and I'm going to be doing a display over it with also having it say SoulSilver, whether it's the Japanese version or the English version, still haven't decided, but that's what I plan on doing. And here's an example of what I mean. You know, I saw this and I thought of making my own version, but using an actual figure, not just the white cut and stuff, white cutout and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned. I also plan on doing another time lapse of me building a Kyogre version of the figure blocks of Nano blocks, and then also doing the display case with the clear box and everything. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned because I'll also do that as well. I might do it both in one video or two videos or multiple videos. I don't know, I haven't decided. But I hope you enjoyed me building Lugia, a time lapse, and also talking about the game in general. Like fun facts, interesting things about it, and just my thoughts on the game. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and like I always say, I'm weird. Don't judge.